Welcome back, everybody. Today, Cheryl and I are out in Nebraska. We drove out yesterday. We planned to come out and do some scouting for turkey hunting, but they only sold 10,000 non-resident tags, and I thought about it too long. By the time I got back online to buy tags, they were all gone, so no turkey hunting in Nebraska this year for us. So instead, we decided we'd come out for a weekend. Like I said, we drove out yesterday. And we're going to do some scouting for this fall for deer hunting. Last year I sat in this spot and saw quite a few deer here. Didn't get an opportunity. It was real rainy last year. The weather basically sucked the whole week we were here, and it was really tough hunting. So we weren't very successful last year. But we did find some areas to hunt, and this was one of them. I was set up here, so you can look up in this cedar. I cut a spot between those two split cedars where I have a stand. The reason I did that is there's a crossing here. This is there's several draws that come together into a hub here, and I'm on one of the points. There's a scrape under a spruce over here that looks like it's been scraped many times. And then when we got here today, we walked up. So this scrape wasn't here when I was here in the fall hunting, so this happened during the hunting season still. There's a scrape here. You can see the busted branches off here. They seem like they rather scrape on these cedar trees. But you can see here, this oak tree is a generational scrape. I mean, they've used this as a licking branch many times. They killed all the tips on this oak tree. So what we're gonna do, and this is something we do on our own property, we'll, the trail, you can kind of see there's a trail that comes down this point. There's a bunch of shrubs that I know the deer forage on. I saw them nipping on it when I was here last fall. There's a trail that comes right across the tip of this point from one draw to the other. And there's a pretty good scrape right there, and that's why I sat here originally, like I said. So what we're gonna do is put a hanging cedar limb from this oak branch kind of right in this trail. That way it'll set it up all year. These deer they'll put their scent on it through this whole summer. And when fall comes, the bucks, they'll have to come here. They can't resist coming to hit these licking branches or to check them out. So that's what we're up to. I'll cut a pretty good sized cedar limb and we'll get it strapped up here. And maybe do a little more prep on my spot in the cedar tree, because I did it in the rain. It was pretty bad weather for it, so I'm gonna fix that up a little better. And we're gonna hit a few more spots, because that's our plan, is kind of look for sheds here while we're out here. Once in a while we come across one out here, so we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of coyotes out here, so I don't know how many sheds we'll find that aren't chewed up, or if we'll find them, because they're pretty thick out here. We're talking to some locals, and they said the coyote population is really high, so we'll see what we can find. That's what we're up to today. So I bought this little Horn Hunter pack, which works out pretty good. It's like a little backpack. It's got shoulder straps and stuff on it, but my sticks go right on top of it, strapped to it, so we'll be able to get up in trees and prep them if we need to. And then I cut off an old wood ladder I had, so I can get up a little higher to put licking branches up and stuff. So everything I need is in here. We'll find a cedar that's probably about 6 feet long. Hopefully it has a limb on it that I can tie the butt end of it up there. I want it about 6 feet long, maybe an inch round on the end that's hanging down. So we'll see if I can find something here that'll work decent. Going that way. Ooh. Okay, we got our Lincoln branch up right in the trail here. The stand spot is right behind it. It'll be a 15-yard shot from the stand. I'll scrape up the ground a little bit here, but it's probably not even necessary. Like I said, the whole summer, deer are going to go by here and rub on that, and they'll start using this. And I'd almost guarantee we come back in the fall, there'd be a pretty good scrape under here. So we'll move on to our next spot. Cheryl and I were just walking along here, and I saw on the trail there's a bunch of turkey poop down here. So we're just looking up. If you look up this oak, you can see the limbs are bare. This is a roosting spot, so this would be pretty valuable information if somebody would have bought tags, but I guess it'll be good for next year anyway. We'll have a spot to come to, but this is a good way to find turkey roosts. You always see there a bunch of turkey poop on the ground where they're roosting, so it looks like there's quite a few roosting here, so hopefully they're roosting here next year. Bunch of deer. See them running?
Oh.
Jumped a bunch of them embedded up here under the cedars somewhere.
Oh, I missed them.
Pretty good one. We really worked that one over. Last year we walked in here. There's kind of a little peninsula that kicks out over here. We were walking to it. So we wanted to check it out again. We found a broken off antler over there last year, I believe, right? It's last year. We found a pretty good rub. And as we were coming up this little slant, there's another rub. And there was a bunch of does laying under these cedars. They all jumped up and ran to the east here, or to the west, I guess it would be. But this is a pretty active area, so we're going to check out, see if we can find a scrape area or something coming out of here and get another stand spot prepped for this fall.
It's a cool little find on day 2 here of shed hunting and stand prep in Nebraska. So it's not an antler, but it's pretty cool. Alright, well, it's close to the end of day 2 of hiking here, and we didn't get a whole lot of footage. We put up one more licking branch. I found that skull that I showed earlier. We've been looking for sheds, haven't really found anything yet. A couple old dead heads. So we're going to keep looking for a little bit here. Wes has a messed up knee, but he's still fighting along here, so we're going to go as long as he can and see if hopefully we can find some sheds. And we'll check back in a little bit and let you know how the rest of the day goes.
That scrape gets up a lot. That's a pretty big scrape. Overhanging limb, just like the other ones. I'm using this cedar limb.
So we're just hiking along here, and Wes just found this really big scrape that they're using a lot. Probably the biggest one we've found so far. That's pretty cool.
Well, we're on the public land, access for everybody. We're walking along and look what we found. People, please clean up your garbage. This land's for everybody. Well, we're headed home after our 2-day hike in Nebraska. We're staying on the Missouri River right now, just crossed back into South Dakota. A kind of a productive hike just to learn the land and stuff. We didn't find a lot of sheds. It kind of sounds like shed hunting, you need to be on some standing crops from last year or something like that. I talked to a few local guys and they said they found a lot of sheds on standing beans that were left from last year. But we had a couple good days just hiking around, learning the property and stuff. So it was a good time. The weather was a little chilly, but we toughed it out and made it through it. So until next time, keep on living the good life.